Okay, welcome everybody to another class on advanced idioms and phrasal verbs. These have all been taken from a book by Stuart Redmond and Ruth Gaines. It's a good book. If you want exercises for this new vocabulary, then you should have a look at that book. It's Oxford University Press. Now, this is chapters 45 and 46, I think. Now, you've got come up, first of all. This can mean a few different things, this phrasal verb. But if you say I've got exams coming up, it just means I've got exams approaching in the future. Yeah, it means that they're approaching soon. And so maybe in a couple of weeks you've got exams. Maybe in a month you've got exams and you say I've got exams coming up. Remember upcoming as an adjective. This is a phrasal verb being changed into an adjective. And when you talk about an upcoming exam or an upcoming event, it means an event that's approaching from the future and it's coming closer and closer. So when something comes up, sometimes it means that it's approaching in the future. It can also mean when you can say that this topic came up in the last class. I could say second conditional came up in the last class, or fronted adverbials came up in the last class. So it can just mean appear. But yeah, if you've got exams coming up, it means that you're soon going to do those exams. And I must admit, this has a third meaning, at least, and probably many others. Like all of our phrasal verbs, they're a little bit annoying because they have multiple meanings. But you can come up off a drug or some kind of narcotic, meaning that the drug starts to take effect. It would be the opposite of wear off, because a drug wears off, the effect wears off. And even alcohol can wear off. The effect of alcohol could wear off as well. But yeah, it could mean that too. But most often it just means appear, or something in the future is getting closer and closer, then it's coming up. So you might say we have a wedding coming up. Yeah, if you've been invited to a friend's wedding, we have their wedding coming up. Okay, if you finish with somebody, that means you break up with somebody or split up with somebody. So if you finish with your boyfriend, then you stop going out with your boyfriend. And that's another good phrasal verb to memorize for relationships. But I mean, of course, you can finish with something. You can say, have you finished with the newspaper? Meaning, have you finished reading the newspaper? There's nothing wrong with that either. Now, if you say that somebody was in a terrible state or is in a terrible state, it usually means really, really upset. Yeah, if somebody's really, really upset, if they're devastated about something, then they are in a terrible state. Okay, nice, clear, easy one. Now, if you are off something or you go off something, then you stop liking something. Stop liking. So you might say, I went off baked beans when I was at university, and it means I stopped liking baked beans. Or maybe you ate so many baked beans that you went off baked beans. You got sick of them, you got tired of them, so you stopped liking baked beans. Yeah, but if you want to talk about the process, you use go. That's a process. But if you want to talk about the state, you use be. Just like be married, get married. Well, we say be off something if you are in the middle of the state of being off something. So you might say, at the moment I'm off, and then say what you've stopped liking. So at the moment I'm off. You can even be off somebody, yeah, meaning that you don't like somebody. So you can use it like that. But often we see it with go off as well. So yeah, at university I went off baked beans, or I'm off that TV show. You could do it about a TV show as well. So be aware that these two both mean stop liking. I'd say it's the opposite of warm to somebody, which means start liking somebody. Yeah, if we're talking about somebody anyway, it's kind of the opposite of warm to somebody. But yeah, if you go off something, or if you are off something or somebody, you've stopped liking them. Okay, if somebody says it's not the end of the world, it means it's not the worst thing that could ever happen, right? You know, I mean, obviously the end of the world would be the worst thing that could ever happen. But you're saying, look, relax. You often say this to children. It's not the end of the world. Don't get so upset. Don't get in a state. Don't get worked up. It's not the end of the world. And actually, you know, you'll be able to you'll see one day in the future that this was just something like a test, something that you had to Overcome. Yeah, it's a good word, overcome. So it's not the end of the world. Just it's something that you say when somebody is in a bad situation, but you want to remind them that it's not a terrible situation. So don't get in a state. Okay, if you get over flu or if you get over a cold, that means you recover from a cold. So I am getting over a cold at the moment because my son gave me a cold. I think it was him anyway. I'm not sure who it was. But if you get over a disease, you've recovered from the disease. It's not normally for real serious diseases like cancer, okay? You can get over COVID, but you can't get over cancer because there's a massive difference between the severity of the two. And you can also get over somebody. And this means that you normally say this when two people have been together and then they've broken up. You know, the boy has finished with the girl or the girl has finished with the boy, and it does sound finish with like you dump that person. So if the girl dumps the boy, if she finishes with the boy, yeah, dump somebody also means, well, it means that you tell that person, I don't want to go out with you anymore. And if you dump somebody and you've stopped your relationship, sometimes people still feel in love, and you might say he hasn't got over his girlfriend yet. He hasn't got over their relationship. He hasn't recovered from the breakup. That's all it means. It still means recover. But if you say he hasn't got over her, or even he isn't over her, you can actually use be here as well, just like this one. Yeah, very much the same thing. If you say he isn't over her, it just means he hasn't stopped thinking about her. He's still in love with her and he hasn't recovered from the breakup. Yeah, that's all it means. He's still got a broken heart, yeah, if he isn't over her. So be aware that it's not just recover from a mild illness, it's also recover from a mild bit of broken heart, yeah, a mild bit of upset. Okay, at the end of the day, I say this all the time, and it's become like a parasite word for me. I say it when I'm thinking. I say at the end of the day, and really I'm thinking. But what does it mean? It means in the end. Yeah, what else does it mean? It means in the end, not much, basically. We use it to say something so that it gives us time to think about what we're going to say next. That really is the only reason why we use it. It doesn't mean anything. I'd say it means exactly the same as in the end, which doesn't mean much. Okay, if you say pull yourself together, this sounds to me like somebody is in a terrible state.